Right, we're in the car and we're going to Magic and Shenanigans. Everyone's in the back and we're all kind of like cramped in here. Phil's driving. This is The Adventure Begins.
Yes, the adventure begins indeed. If you're listening to this on one of the podcast apps, I do want to tell you that this is a video episode. So feel free to go to YouTube, The Steve Valentine Show. You can go to my site or you can just Google Magicians Only on YouTube, and you can watch this because there's a lot of video content specifically in this episode because I did a bit of a video diary as we went along. Welcome to another episode of Magicians Only. So this is very exciting for me because it happened. You might remember that back in episode 14, we talked to Silly Phil LeConte, who had this kind of crazy, wild idea to put on a magic festival. A lot of people didn't think it was going to work. A lot of people didn't get it. But Phil believed in it. And one of the great things about when a mate comes and asks you to help out, I'm always so happy when I have the time to help out. And so Phil asked me if I would be part of this magic festival. And it was the world's first. It's called Magic and Shenanigans. And we did it. And so today's episode, I'm going to take you through what happened. I'm going to show you warts and all, everything that happened. Was it a success? Was it a failure? Did it work? Stick around and find out. Don't forget, Magicians Only is sponsored by Magic on the Go at magiconthego.com. A lot of the magic that I used at the Shenanigans Festival was you can actually learn on Magic on the Go, including the whole card and wallet sequence. I teach it all. But the best thing about Magic on the Go is not only do we teach you how to do the trick, but we teach you how to do the trick. We teach you kind of how to present it. It's all part of kind of the learning process. Magic on the Go is more than just a course. It's a resource. Right now, and I don't know how long this is going to go for, but a lot of people have asked me if I would do a monthly subscription. I mean, there's almost 1,000 tricks. So honestly, a monthly subscription, that's a lot of content for a monthly cost. But just for the next month or so for a very limited time. So I thought about it, and you know what? I get it. Okay, you might want to just check out Magic on the Go, have a little look at the content, see if a longer annual subscription is better for you, and that's fine. So just for a short, limited time, probably to the end of the summer, I'm going to allow monthly subscriptions. So if you do want to check out Magic on the Go, now is your chance.
And the weather's just perfect, isn't it, for a walking tour?
In case you don't remember, the idea was to combine magicians and comedians and do something that's never been done before.
We've got 8 indoor magicians and
3 outdoor magicians.
3 outdoor magicians. And eventually they'll be good enough to, get the indoor gig. But until then, they've got...
I doubt it. But that's not my call. Billy's call.
That's Billy's call. She's the one who set the whole thing up.
Yeah.
We're going to call her Billy Goldfinger from now on.
Why?
Well, because Jack Goldfinger books the castle. And so Billy's the one who's booking the talent, so she's the one who's going to get the... So if you want to know who books it...
Lady Magician
Billy
Goldfinger.
Billy Goldfinger.
So it only took forever to get up to Waterloo to do this. Packed in the car with Phil, driving like a maniac, because he literally was like clinging on to... Phil, calm down, mate, when you're driving. Oh, I was very nerve-wracking. Anyway, we got there safe and sound. We checked into the hotel.
All right, we arrived at the hotel. Bumped into Keith Fields, who's performing.
Hello.
Here we got Laura and Billy are right here. Jake's over there. Phil's checking in. Look at all this Magic and Shenanigans guided tour festival, motherfucker. So the first thing we do when we get to the venue or get to the hotel is the day before we're doing like a quick meet the press thing.
And this is the genius of Phil. Phil has created many comedy festivals, so he understands the importance of getting the press, the radio, and everyone in the town on your side to help you to promote the venue. Each of us are kind of scattered around the lobby. And then the Shenanigans, which are the guys that in the wonderfully cheesy vests, will be bringing everyone over to be interviewed, to do a little press.
So we can let them know what's going on exactly, and then they can tell all of their followers.
I remember when I did my first one-man show, man, I'm telling you right now, guys, I put all the money that we raised for the show, I put it all into the props and the technical equipment, and I didn't save anything for the marketing. And holy crap, just like in a movie, you need to have at least a third of your budget if you're going to do any kind of show or festival. At least a third of your budget has to be marketing. Phil was able to get a lot of it through sponsorship. So if you want to know, like I said, if you want to know whether this was a success, stick around.
See right there? Look at that vest. Look at that vest. That's Mike Wood, one of our boys. There's another one right there.
Were we nervous? It was raining. It is a walking tour. People are walking between venues. Did it rain throughout the entire tour? Find out.
Right, so it's opening day. My gosh, the organizers have been going crazy around town. It was pouring with rain yesterday. And part of this festival is a walking tour. Luckily, I can tell you that his son seems to be fighting its way through. And we're going to go outside in a minute. I'm going to walk over to the venue. But I brought a ton of magic with me because I thought, I'm not going to know until I see the venue what's going to work best. It's good to have an act, but it's also good to be prepared, So this is, believe it or not, this is the, this is the craziness. That's not all, there's also that. And that's not all, there's also that. So basically, I brought a ton of magic for a 15-minute spot just because I wanted to figure out what would be the best part. And also, I want to know what everyone else is doing, right? What other acts are doing so that we've got like a nice variety. There are 12, not 8, 12 performers. And then a whole bunch of comedians who are taking the crowds from room to room. So it's pretty nuts. The organization is incredible. Phil and Billy and his team and Phil's team are doing a great job. So right now I'm going to walk over to the venue. We're leaving the hotel. We're going to pipe and drape the room where I'm performing. And then I have to grab a cup of coffee because I also do a little trick with a Starbucks cup that I think I want to do at the very beginning. It's basically what happens is everybody's walking in, and while they're walking in, I'm just kind of like leaning against the table as they all come in and sit down. So it's a very casual meet and greet. And then I'm putting extra whipped cream on my mocha. And then at the right moment, when it's time to start the show, the mocha disappears, and we start the show. And it's kind of fun. It's a new trick I've been working on. Because I'm not going to have too much time to reset. That's the thing. We're doing all these shows back to back. Audiences are going to be about 15 to 20 people. I hate it when you have a light directly above your head, don't you? It just shows the bald spots. But anyway, yes, so we're doing 4 shows back to back. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have no idea what to expect. So it's starting to rain a little bit. I did manage to get an umbrella. But it's as I'm walking down right now, it's going to be a little bit windy. Just a couple of thoughts about some of the great things about a festival like this, if you ever decide to, produce one on your own. It takes a lot of organization. You've got to get sponsorships. If you listen to the episode of Magicians Only where I interview Phil LeConte about this particular project of his, he'll talk about how he got some of the sponsorship going, but also understand that sponsors come in many shapes and sizes. That's what I've learned. You might get a sponsor who gives you money. That's becoming rarer and rarer. But often you'll get a sponsor who gives you space or food or a product or promotion or a discount on promotion. So, he was very smart, Phil. He went to, there's a radio station here called Magic. Go figure. You can't write this shit. And, it just felt like the obvious, and it was a great, they sponsored it. They're giving us a lot of airplay, radio play. Sponsorship is key, getting a lot of people behind you. The hotel's been great. The venues are great. You have to be very clear with each venue as to what it is they're getting. You don't want a venue to think, oh, okay, so for example, they're letting us use one of the rooms for a show. Does that mean that you want to make sure they don't think, if it's in a restaurant, that we're bringing everybody in to eat and drink? Because in this particular case, we're not. In this particular case, we are moving people from building to building, and so you want to make sure there isn't that mistake, right? It's so funny, as I'm about to go to the venue, the train starts to go by. Some people would call this a sign. Don't go, Valentine. No, we're going to go pipe and drape the venue and check out the sound to make sure we've got all that going. You know, being absolutely clear, having it in writing. Sometimes people don't listen. Sometimes they don't understand. You know, you're in show business, they're not. So you really do have to make sure everything is absolutely signed off, that they understand every aspect of it. Even, you know, one person had the wrong date. They thought it was May of next year. So this is, you know, this is the key, right? This is it sounds simple, but clarity is everything. One of the great things about it is we have comedians and entertainers and magicians, and I know magicians can be comedians and entertainers too. I'm just, you know, differentiating between the two. But what we do have here is a lot of entertainers, and we have a green room in the hotel, which is just for the entertainers. And last night we were all up until about 1 a.m. And then the ball goes down the spiral. It was delightful. People swapping tricks, giving other people ideas, telling stories, crazy stories from the road. This is where we're going to be, right here. I'm going to be, me and Laura in London. Laura's upstairs, I'm downstairs. The Hueda Hotel. It has so many rooms, it's insane. We're going to enter through the side entrance right there. Let's go check it out. What? I love carrying an umbrella. Reminds me of the good old days. Right. For me, go down these stairs, crack my head on the ceiling. Laura's upstairs, we are down this way, so just all the way down, and but this isn't the room. No, we're going down even further. And there's Jake, and there's Laura London. Hi.
So exciting.
This is so exciting.
I'm going to go get my bag from your room.
Oh, your room? Yes, right, because your bag's in the room. And now we go down even more, and it's a bloody brewery. And this is the acoustics in here are just amazing. This is where we're going to be doing it, kids. This is the next 3 days. I'm going to be here at the brewery doing the show. Bloody hell. It's all right. Don't worry. I'm just filming. We come through here, and it has a lovely kind of sound ambience where we don't need a microphone, but I bought a microphone. Now, very simply, one set of lights. I think it's important because it makes it feel more like a show. So we have one set of lights going this way. The idea is 15 to 20 seats, and then if we have 30 people, then the back row stands, okay? I always have tall chairs when I have assistants on stage, and there's going to be a table right here. And the reason that I do that is because, remember, people are seated. So your sight lines are kind of interesting in that they're not going to be able to see your pocket. So, you know, if you want to produce anything from your pocket, then you have to stand on a chair. But also, when people are seated here in a stool, they're higher and everyone can see their reactions. And as you know, magic is all about the reactions, right? So that's the idea of it. It's just kind of, I love having people here at eyesight, or relatively at eyesight for me. But I love having that because otherwise what happens is we end up becoming the tilted over kind of the Igor of close-up magic. You see all these close-up magicians and they're bending over and it's really ungainly and it's just, I mean, it does give you great access to your top hit for those who know what that is. But that's not the point. Point is that I want to have people here and here. Now, I hope you like card tricks. I'm not going to use cards. By the way, this is the weirdest. This trick has built-in misdirection. I'm the only one who can do this because look, as I turn around, you'll notice I have this giant bald spot that glares, right? And then that blinds you. You don't see where I put all the cards. You see, and that's. I know. See, you don't have to go crazy when it comes to setting up a room for a close-up show. You know, the experience will be going from place to place. They're going to be coming down into this cellar. It smells like a brewery in a good way. It's got like a good kind of vibe to it. You can sense the history. But also, if you don't have mics, sound, that kind of stuff, you can rent it for a show. It's not expensive at all. For example, this is a simple speaker that was rented. And this was going to be, if I needed a mic, we would have used this for a microphone as well. But that's a very, very simple speaker. It has all the different attachments. We're just using
headphone jack, actually, but it's got all the other kinds of jacks available, inputs available to it here. But this is more than loud enough for this kind of a room. And then we also rented this light. So all in all, that's all that you need in order to make a show happen.
Yay! Wow! It's very important I don't see the card. You guys can see the 3 of hearts in the back. Let me show you this, and you can decide if you want to share with the class.
Okay.
Okay? I know. Sure you're not feeling any of this pain. So Shenanigans is over. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. All the performers are here, and we're having a little after party.
Great thing about an after party is people have a tendency to whip out their cards or do their favorite tricks, including Magic Man, who was on the balcony, and he has the ability to do this.
Whoa. Holy fuck, that's delicious, man.
That balloon shot over that building. That was insane.
And then the ball goes down the spiral.
Right, okay. There you go.
The director of Magic Grinch Productions.
Phil, name a card.
Okay, King of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds. Easy.
Nice.
All right, everybody, and now here we are at part 2. This is the Shenanigans Debrief. So it happened. You saw the first part of the podcast.
Wait, Steve, I didn't see the first part.
No, well, you were there.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
You didn't need to.
Okay, so, never mind.
Can you let me introduce you?
Keep going.
You're doing. Once a performer, always a performer.
You're doing great.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Magic and Shenanigans Debrief. It's going to be like this the whole time. It's Valentine here, and you've seen the first part. He didn't see the first part.
I did not.
Because he was part of the first part. By the way, on that road trip up, when we were all driving up in one car, or not all of us, but some of us driving up in one car, Phil told the most amazing story about one of his first ever gigs abroad and how he ended up in prison. I want to try and get him to tell us that story, because I was like, why didn't you tell me that?
I mean, that was so long ago.
Oh, but it's so good.
It was pretty good.
So, right, here we are, Shenanigans Debrief. Please welcome back Mr. Phil LeConte.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
Hello, mate. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, actually, yeah. I mean,
you rested?
I'm kind of rested, yep. I got all the magician stink off me.
You got all the glitter off you?
I got all the glitter, and all of the confetti has been cleaned up, I think.
Are you looking at me? I didn't use that much confetti.
I don't know who made the green room turn into, like,
that wasn't me.
Some sort of magical unicorn party.
That wasn't.
But anyway,
we should have on the green room. We should have a no extra trick policy.
It was fun,
but the
though.
Green room was the best part of it. Well,
of course,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So everyone so far, everyone's seen us the prelude to it. At least my version of the prelude. The thing that impressed me the most, just off the bat, was the sheer organization. If anyone's thinking of knocking off this idea, good luck, because the organization, like you and Billy, were non-stop, running from place to place, dealing with all the people you had to deal with. How was that from your perspective? I mean, you've done comedy festivals before, so you know.
And street performer festivals and arts festivals. And to me, it was like the easiest thing I've ever done. And I say that because I think I had the most fun, and Billy was amazing. So half of the job, I didn't have to work.
We're talking about your partner in crime on this one, Billy Kidd.
Yeah, Billy Kidd.
She booked the magician.
Lady magician,
and she handled the magic side of it, and you handled the comedian / shenanigans side of
Correct.
it.
Yeah. So it was great. It was, amazing. No complaints from the magic side at all. But also, I didn't have anything to do with that, really. You know, I was just there to, like, move the audience from place to place in a fun way.
Yes.
And I did it the way I thought it would be the most fun.
People moving. You're like the people mover.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
It was like just trying to give someone an experience that everyone brought something else away from it. And I talked to tons of people who came, and every story is different. Yeah. Every story is like, I can't believe blank, and then I saw blank. That's it.
people did not know what to expect. And I
No.
remember when...
Well, Steve, let's be clear. Most people did not think this idea was going to work. And I had everyone, including Billy, say to me, I didn't really think it was going to work. So,
I thought it was going to work.
Yeah, I
thought it sounded like a great idea.
I think
I
think people had a hard time getting their brain around it, and I had a hard time putting it on paper or explaining it to someone. I needed to show it to someone.
You do, and which you now have the video. I mean,
Which-
you have so much
yeah.
footage of how it works. Because
Photos, videos.
But there was okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the. So everyone knows. Essentially, we had, just as a reminder, we had our 8 performers, 8 magicians, and then we also had how many comedians?
So there were 8 tour guides.
8 tour
And they
guides.
were a combination of stand-up comedians, improv actors, street performers, that kind of thing. And
Right.
it was their job to get their group of 30 people from venue to venue
Yes.
in a fun way.
Yeah.
And then outside, we had 3 additional performers. Jack Wise from Ireland doing some
Sword swallowing
Sword
and-
swallowing.
yeah, it was
Also,
great.
I would like to mention that thanks to Jack Wise, this was a little something that he left for Billy and I.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I know.
nice of him.
I know, it's pretty great. He just appreciated being
How many
hired.
performers gave you gifts at the end of
Well,
the...
you know what? I want to just a little shout out to Andre, who's one of my favorites.
Love Andre.
He gave this little packet of cards, which I'm never going to use because I don't even know what it is. But you know what? They just sort of really
You called it a
appreciate.
packet of cards. No, yes, clearly you don't know what
They
it is.
just really appreciated, the time and effort that we put into bringing them over.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say it's necessary,
Right,
but I'm going to
yeah.
say, see you next year, Jack. Anytime, Andre. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you get my gift? It was
I did
in the
not.
mail to
No,
you.
no.
Oh, but wait.
Billy
there's
might have it, yeah.
Billy's probably got it, or it's part of the mail strike that may or may not be happening.
maybe. I should also mention that there was a delicious box of chocolates that Jack also brought that I consumed already.
So basically, what we're saying is, Jack
nice.
Wise, ass kisser.
I
No,
mean,
all right,
listen,
no.
I don't care how it gets done. It just should get done. That is all I'm throwing out there. That's it. There's a lot of magicians, and this is now the most premier magician gig in the world.
Can I just tell you, guys, as far as a magic gig, B, quality of life experience, we had the greatest combination. So it was all the magicians getting together. We all felt so lucky to be a part of this because, well, I'll tell you how it felt I'll give you my perspective in it as a performer.
Yeah.
But also kind of the camaraderie that happened between the comedians and the magicians and all of those people getting together. It was
Genius.
was
You can say it. I mean, I don't like the G word. I don't like throwing around words like hero. But in this case, Steve, I think it fits.
I would say
I think it fits.
It's fucking genius. I'll give you an FG. It was
It
fucking genius.
It was.
And I remember the day you came up to me. You're like, hey man, I got this fucking idea. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking brilliant. And I was like, really? You're like, yeah, man, it's gonna be great.
It was crazy and brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, that sounds exactly like me.
I know, right?
You've
It's
been
not bad.
You've been working on that?
I've been working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, I gotta make it a little more Canadian. A little more Canadian with the accent. But yeah, fucking guy got this. Anyway.
And a little more sort of like spite fueled. That's what you need.
Yeah, everything has a little bit of edge, and fucking, I don't care. I don't like you.
Well, it's not that I don't care. I don't like you. It's I am at the age where I know what I want. And that's it. I'm going to do
But I think that's everybody over 50.
Sure, but I mean, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to throw my dream festival. That was it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And next year, which we've already got money to do it next year.
That's fantastic.
In May 2026 for sure.
How
in Waterloo.
quickly did they turn around and say we want it back?
1 week.
1 week?
1 week, yeah.
Holy shit.
And
That's what a success it was. Because, okay, so you got to understand, guys, it's one main street, it's 8 venues. So first thing that Phil had to do was to convince these venues that this was worth them giving us their space.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there was that. We had to convince the local powers that be, that we were going to bring business into the high street,
Which
right?
we did.
Which we did, and also the tourist dollar, because a good percentage of people drove in or flew in, or some people flew in to see it.
Yeah, so we had like almost 30%, like 29% of the people who came to the festival came from 100 kilometers outside of Waterloo. So they drove.
amazing.
The same idea behind like someone who lived in Waterloo would have to drive to Toronto 100 kilometers to see some of these world-class magicians and comedians.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we just proved that, we have a fun winning formula, and I think all events should be run in this way. I mean
by you?
Well, not necessarily by me, because I can't do them all, of course. But I mean, I did figure out.
Yeah, your formula. Sorry, go ahead. You did figure out.
Well, I mean, I ran comedy festivals and arts festivals for years and years and years, and you put together a budget.
Yeah.
And usually, the last slice of your budget is performers.
Right.
And you're trying to stretch your performers with a limited budget, because it's kind of like all the other stuff is necessary and as important and is expensive.
Yes.
This was sort of a flip on that, where we spent 85% of our budget on people, performers and staff. That's it. Treating them well, getting them hotels and flying them in, and that's it. And my belief was the extra 50%, which was sort of a, not DIY, but it was a very thoughtful, what do we need? How do we make it work? What does that experience look like?
Yeah.
And because the performers were so great, you didn't need all the bells and whistles to sell it as a fun time.
Yeah.
Also, I'm convinced that the performers had a good time because of the other performers that were there.
Absolutely.
And if you're having fun, the audience is going to have fun no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's my secret.
And
That's the secret sauce.
The secret sauce is also like when you're having fun, you're also willing to go above and beyond.
Well, there's
because
that.
you don't
And I mean,
feel
I never
you don't
expect
feel
that.
as an entertainer. You know when you're being taken advantage of, right?
Right. I mean,
but when you show respect, and I think this is the way any business should run, but a lot of corporations don't. But when you're showing respect and appreciation, you're willing to do more than maybe you agreed to. For not that you've asked us to do much more, but I'm just saying it was such a great vibe. So the way it would work is we'd have there were the 8 different tour groups, right? So imagine 8 tour groups going at one time. I remember the first group coming down into my little cave room, right? And people were just and the great thing about it was by the end of the night, after they'd gone to their 4 performers, when I got the 4th group that came down, they were so on it. They knew exactly what was going on. They were buzzed. They'd had a great time. They already had their favorites.
Yeah.
But the first group never knew what to expect.
Exactly.
And so you people come down, they're looking around, and then when they were looking up online who the performers were, they were like, what are you guys doing here? Like in Waterloo, like all these great magicians from all over the world.
Yeah, we had a lot of people who bought tickets to both tours. So they basically came back and experienced the festival in a completely different way. Like, to me, what I love about it, also back to your point of the people, Billy and I are lucky to have such great friends who are willing to come and support us and take a chance on an insane idea.
Yeah.
20 years ago, I couldn't have made this work. I don't think I could have.
Why?
Even if I came up with it. Because I don't think I'd have access to enough performers and people. I know a lot of performers. This gig fits some of them, not all of them.
Right.
It's not for everyone.
No.
In the same way, I'm guessing, and Billy can only speak to this, what was the experience from the magicians, right? Because it's a different kind of experience. I like it as a sort of small room at the Magic Castle, but except everyone has access.
But also each room was different. So each room had this eclectic vibe. Like mine was down in this wine cellar kind of cave
We had
vibe.
a barber shop and a nightclub. And
somebody was in the back of a barber shop.
bookstore.
Rachel was in the back of a barber shop, right? Rachel Wax. And then Andre was in a bookshop.
Yep.
And then Keith Fields was in a
nightclub.
a balcony of a nightclub.
The mezzanine of a nightclub.
Mezzanine of a nightclub.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so the places where you would not expect to find a magic show,
Right.
And yet
or any show for that matter.
any show. But then everyone found a way to make it work, and was able to pick the right 12 to 15 minutes of material. And that's the other thing is you got to be able to pick the right material, because if people are coming in. They've just seen a couple of magicians, maybe. You want to make sure that, there's a little competitive element. You want to be everybody wants to be the best out of the group, right? So you want to hit them with an opening trick, but you've also got to understand they've seen magic, and you don't want to have duplication of tricks, which is very important. So that's all on Billy to balance out. She finds out what the routine is.
Also, I'm going to level up the shenanigans next year, so magicians need to be on their game. Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Bring it on.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this great thing about the shenanigans, and also that's a phrase but I don't think everyone knows. Shenanigans are stand-up comedians, variety performers who are not magicians.
Correct.
Who took on the role of host and tour guide to bring
bring the people from room to room in a really entertaining and different way. And it was interesting for us to see every time a shenanigan came into the room with their group, kind of how they connected with their people.
And they all did it different.
They all did it differently. The lines, the bits of business that they were developing. Alex Falcone came down to do it. It was, I mean, it was fascinating to see from an entertaining perspective how everyone connected with their crowds. So it wasn't just the magic shows and then Dead Space. It was the magic shows, and now you've got...
It's a 2-hour experience, top to bottom, that's it. There's not one point where something is happening or you're being entertained whether you realize it or not.
Yeah, you're being engaged.
That's it. Engaged.
In some way.
And you get to choose how much engagement you want. Like, I watched some of the videos from some of the shows, and I would see the same people in the front row at every magic show. Yeah. And then I'd see the same bodies in the back row, right? That kind of thing.
You'd have the people like, don't pick me, I don't like to be picked.
Exactly, but that's with anything, and I like the fact that it's your choice. That's what I like.
Sure.
That's the thing for me. Nobody is forced to do anything except for move from place to place. That's it. And we give them all that information up front. But the thing I like the best about it is I like board games. And to me, the playability of the same game.
Yes.
So for me, because there were 8 magicians and 8 separate tours, 5 different times, plus all the outdoor performers, plus you could literally come to the festival every year for 100 years and have a completely different experience.
Sure.
And to me, that's what makes this thing great.
And I know you were talking about, well, the magicians that we had, and we said, as far as the magicians went, we had myself and
Andre.
We
should mention the great cards that he left for everyone. It was a very nice gift.
He gave me a pack of cards too.
He gave everyone
I didn't do shit for him.
I know.
There was
Malin from
Nielsen,
Sweden.
Right? You've got Rachel Wax. You've got
From
Laura
New York.
London.
Laura from the UK, yeah.
Yes, who was great doing her card. Keith Fields, right, street performer, but he was actually doing his famous chop cut routine, and then who else did we have? We had
Andrew Eland.
Andrew Eland,
from South Africa.
Magic guy from South Africa. Great,
Magic Man.
The Magic Man. Great kind of stream of consciousness, kind of just stuff happening all the time, conversational
and
magic.
Nick Wallace was the only Canadian we hired.
And Nick, all right, okay. So we did have a Canadian in there. That's good. All right. So Nick was lovely, and Nick's a whole different style.
Nick's amazing.
So it was really, I think the public doesn't understand how many different kinds and styles of magic there are.
Well,
so when you think you're going to go see 8 magicians or 4 magicians, you're going to, it's just people doing tricks but it's not. It's like
this was the naysayer. This is why everyone that I said when I said I want to run a magic festival, their whole thing was like, why? Like, in the same way if I said I want to run a juggling festival, if you're not super into juggling, why do you want to see a bunch of people do the same thing?
Right.
And I think it's because most people have not been exposed to the kinds of magic that are out there, and that's it. And that's kind of where Billy comes in, right?
Yeah, totally.
She has seen it all, and she knows what's good and what's not good, and ultimately I'm trying to convince people that, listen, there is really cool magic that you can see, but most importantly, you got to have fun doing it. Yeah. To me, it's the first time magic and comedy have come together legitimately.
Where magic and comedy unite. I mean,
that is going to piss off every single person who has comedian, magician, or magic and comedian on their business card.
In that we were engaging. I mean, I was engaging with the hosts when the Shenanigans when they came in. We had bits of business. We had lines that were going back and forth, and then so as people are being taken from venue to venue, they understand. They start to realize what this is.
Yeah. And then they want to come back and do it again.
They want to come back, and which they did. They came back the next night. I saw
Yeah.
so many, on the same night, I saw so many repeat people. And then the Shenanigans are doing their bits. And then also the audience bumps into these little kind of performance art segments as they're being toured around.
More shenanigans outside.
More shenanigans outside. So you got Jack suddenly doing sword swallowing with a sword that looked terrifying, by the way.
Did we mention that Jack brought a bottle of booze and
Did
chocolates?
we mention that Jack and Andre were the only magicians who showed any appreciation? Well, I appreciate you from here, from deep inside.
No, I get
my
it, Steve.
heart.
And in reality, we're going to put this right on the record. I have no say in any magicians or how they get hired for this Magic and Shenanigans Festival.
Is this a hashtag Who Books that moment?
Yeah,
Okay.
hashtag Who Books this, Billy Kidd. Ultimately, if you're looking to do do a lot of nothing except for silly shit, feel free to drop me an email. If it involves magic, I'm not interested.
That's Billy's side of the she handles the magicians.
And you can also do an interview with her and fact check everything I'm saying, because I would recommend that.
She's just going to say everything that you've said is bullshit.
Probably. Yeah. But again, I mean, that's exactly what it is. We made it clear. I am not qualified to book the magicians. So I found the person who I thought was the most qualified.
I think this is like an amazing moment of awareness right there. But I just want to say that, so for me, my perspective on doing it was great to watch the audiences grow, to understand the energy where they were getting up, didn't know what they were going to go see next.
Exactly.
You know, it was like they sat down for 15 minutes, boom, they were up, they were moving, that kind of in and out. For me also as a performer, super tight turnaround. So I had to really kind of like change things up a little bit as far as reset went. Because sometimes I would go long. But I'm just saying, for me as an entertainer and for anyone else who applies for this, you know, there's going to be sometimes tight turnarounds and you're going to be ready to go. So that's just a good lesson magic-wise.
Also, Billy likes when you send an email and then 3-4 days later follow up, because she's very busy.
She likes like, and then another email after that, like one a week.
You could just forward the original email.
She loves it when the email is written by AI. And
can you do that now? Okay, great.
No, don't do that. There's nothing worse than getting an email from someone that was clearly written by ChatGPT. That shows you how much effort you put into asking for work. But that wasn't me coughing. That was one of the dogs.
Yeah, that was one of the dogs. She's being great. She's old.
Yeah, she's so sweet. So from my perspective, it was a great time as a performer.
Great.
I loved watching everybody, all different ages. Also, the green room. Afterwards, every night we all went.
That festival, to me, the greatest thing that I got to do, because that green room, Steve, is what I've experienced most of my career. That is what
among comedians,
festivals, street performers, events, that kind of thing. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay,
you know what I mean? That like, here's a safe place for everyone to hang out, drinks, talk about the day, whatever else, see your friends, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and
the Shenanigans who I brought, most of them would have been disappointed if it wasn't that, because that's what they expect from me. Okay. But I think magicians don't get together in a festival situation like this.
Not like this, no.
So again, it was me and Billy being able to say, like, look, you can be treated better as a performer. It doesn't matter, even if you're doing magic, we can still treat you better, right?
Even though you're a magician, fine,
right?
We'll treat you better.
So to me, that was because to me, the greatest part of a festival or an event of anything is the memories that you carry and share with the other performers and people you bump into, and that's how you make friends, and that's how you see colleagues, and that's how you learn, and
that's how you look forward to next time.
Exactly.
You know, and getting together and the experience that you're going to have together. I think we were talking about how in the green room, you said you stood back for a minute and you kind of looked into the room.
Well, that was weird. And
you had that moment of like seeing magicians and comedians unite and have fun.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
like a separated.
It was more than that. I literally in my brain saw like a line down the middle of the green room, like magicians only. Performers
magicians
only,
on this side swapping tricks, comedians like
that's what I thought.
Looks to the magicians.
And I walked into the room and I just had like a glance around, and it was like magician, comedian, two magicians, two comedians, like it was all engaged, all talking about both of their crafts, right? Like the comedians, and I also hired Shenanigans, who I knew had an interest in magic,
right?
Because if
that's
not.
Good.
Right? It helps with the vibe.
It sure does.
But it was kind of amazing that both of the worlds, because Billy and I talk a lot about it, and the reason this whole thing started was she took me to a magic convention. And I'm like, part of this is awesome. Most of this is garbage.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like
that was your experience.
That was my experience.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do this better. And I had no interest in running a magic convention or whatever. But why is there not a festival for magicians?
Yeah. No, well, there is now.
Yeah,
it's called Magic and Shenanigans, bitch.
TM.
Here we
trademark it.
Trademark
just
that.
In case.
Trademark, copyright,
steal the
everything.
idea if you want. You're not getting Magic and Shenanigans.
You know what? You try and steal this idea, you're going to crash and burn because of the organization. Like, I don't think I saw Billy. I think she was running around. I think I saw her like 3 times throughout the entire
festivals. She was just on it, going from venue to venue, dealing with any like last minute ticket changes. Because oh my God, the number of people that buy tickets and then don't come and then just call and go, can I come tomorrow? And you're like, well, no, your ticket was for tonight, and now we've got to try and make that work.
Yeah, I mean, but that's stuff I had to deal with my comedy fest, with any other ticket.
You're used to that,
so
right?
That's all easy stuff.
So for you, enough of me talking. I mean, what was the best things about it for you? But also kind of the harder things. Was there anything new that you had to learn how to handle?
No.
Like, what was your... Oh, okay.
For me...
Just perfect.
No, it wasn't perfect because I made one major change on Friday night after we ran the first tour.
Yeah.
Because in my brain, this was going to work no matter what. I had it. I knew it. I couldn't explain it to people, and I had a lot of naysayers and whatever else. But the way my brain works is I can only fix it when I see it in motion.
Okay.
So my goal was to get it up and running. I don't care if it's perfect.
Right.
I want to see it, so then the next day I can fix it, which is exactly what happened. And the next day, it was nothing but smooth sailing. There was no drama, no issues, no nothing. I was looking for things to do and problems to solve.
That weren't showing up.
Exactly. Because it was such a simple formula. It was... put the comedians and the magicians where they need to be and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
And then for me, the only important thing was the timing.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I cared about. And
you had a little cushion between each show, right?
A little one, but not, And also, that's why we had fucking clocks inside every venue.
Yeah, there was a giant ass clock in the back of the room.
Every venue had a clock. That's the thing. So for me, if somebody... like a magician runs long and messes up the timing, it's not just for those 30 people, it's for 240 people all moving at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where I was like, there's no exception, this is how it happens.
Yeah.
But again, it's not rocket science. Everyone has a watch, everyone fucking has a clock.
Yeah.
They shouldn't, and that's the thing.
That's in the casting. That's when they say, when a good movie director says that a lot of his work is casting the right actor. I think you're casting the right performer. You're casting the professional who knows how to time his act and also who's not a dick to hang out with. Yeah.
Number one, I'm casting people that I can trust to do what I expect them to do and not micromanage it, right? I want them, here are the guidelines, the rest of it, feel free to be artistic. Right? That kind of thing.
Right.
Because that's where you're going to get those magic moments. Right? You got to let them do what they're capable of doing and what they do. That's it. So but I have a lot of friends who I love and I love their shows and everything. They could not do this. It is not for them.
Yeah.
So the casting took me a while, but I knew my goal was to just have as many of my friends there so that we could have a good time. That's it. Because if we're having a good time, magicians included, the public has a good time.
That was a comment I got from a lot of the people was that, and I'm sure you did as well from the audiences, was just how much fun the magicians and the comedians were having and how infectious that was.
Dude, I never want to go do a gig that feels like work ever again. I never want to put my microphone on or like open my prop case and be like, ugh. Like I never want to do that again. Yeah. And it's weird. I mean, I've had a 35-year career and again, I don't care. I could do this forever, Steve. Forever. Yeah. Because to me, it's got that interchangeable playability. All you have to do is move 4 of the venues and move it 1 block up the street and you have a completely different festival.
And you're right. This is it's basically a board game.
It's a board game.
It's a board game.
But the pieces are people.
Yeah.
The pieces are performers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, how lucky are you to get a ticket and come experience this? Because we didn't sell out all the shows, but we sold enough tickets. We had around 1,000 people come and experience the festival.
Which is amazing.
Amazing for the first year.
Yeah.
And then next time, who knows?
Yeah, because news is going to spread. And then we got radio stations involved. The hotel was really lovely to us, the Delta Hotel, right?
Everyone who went loved it and was like, this was my favorite part.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain to someone what it was and how much fun it was, and I can't. And that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want people to be so, not overstimulated, but so like, like they saw you, which would have been enough. But now we're going to get 4 more of that, plus all the outside. Like, I want it to be like, man, that's the...
You can see that people
how do I do it again?
Were, by the end of it, not exhausted, but just like full.
Laughing,
They just
talking,
had such
stories,
good...
photos.
It was amazing.
That's the thing. For me, it's an intimate experience that doesn't cost that much money.
Yeah.
And... yeah, the organization and everything was
When you
insane.
say it doesn't cost that much money, you mean for the performer or for you guys to put it on?
No, for the punters.
Yeah.
For the punters to come and to, like, the audience to come and experience something.
And we had an age limit on the kids, if I remember, right?
So I did an age limit 10 plus only because of the moving from place to place. And it was very important to me that you guys got complete attention for your short bit. You don't get to like deal with a crying kid and then carry on and still end up on time.
Yeah.
So I basically set it up so there was no excuses that my timing didn't get whacked.
Yeah.
Right? Like same with like I had an accessibility tour whereas like I can't climb stairs.
Right.
Well, all the tours had stairs, right?
Yeah.
So I could have figured it out and done it with someone. It would have been a different tour, but that's like another level of like something you got to think.
That's the next level of organization to have a specific.
Yeah, and I had a backup. I had a plan. I just didn't have to use it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I wanted to be, and I had a lot of like 8, 9, 10-year-old kids where mums would email me and basically say like, "Hey, what's the deal with the age restriction?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Listen, it's this. Can they go into a room, climb a flight of stairs, walk for 2 hours, right, and watch a magician and shut their mouths?
Yeah.
That's it." If they can sit and watch and that's it for 10, 12 minutes, if they have that attention span, I don't care how old you are.
I mean, there's also elements of what the material is and if it's appropriate for the kids. But
to me, you guys are pros and you will work that out.
Yes.
That's it.
One of my funniest memories was this kid in the front row, clearly like 8.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I said to him, wait a minute. I was like, how old are you? And he looks at me and goes, I'm 8. And then his parent just nudged him like you could see it. He just went like this and he went, 10.
Right, exactly.
It was
but again,
just a great moment.
Every parent who reached out, Steve, there was like 5 or 6 of them. All of them were like, thank you for explaining and bought tickets. Right. And that's it. And you can't really post anywhere and say, can your kid shut the fuck up for 12 minutes? Right? Like that's the thing. Yeah. Are they going to be crying because they got to walk a flight of stairs?
Yeah, they're going to be.
But all the outdoor stuff, and I had a situation, woman bought a ticket for her father for Father's Day, and they showed up with like an infant and a stroller, baby, 2 babies, right? And they thought they were going to take the tour, and their first venue was a flight of stairs up. And so I talked to them, I refunded their money, and I said, listen, this is how it works. If you want to duck in and see the shows and then leave the babies outside and you guys can alternate or do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But here's why we have an age restriction. And as I'm explaining it, toddler starts wailing. And then the dad said, good timing. Like that was it. So they got it. They were not mad about it or anything. I just have to figure out how to explain it. And in reality, it's not for kids, right? I'm not saying it's not suitable, right? And if your kid is into magic, right, it's kind of perfect because they're the ones who are going to pay attention. But ideally, it's not for kids.
It's for adults. It's
for a mature audience because we're asking a lot of them. Not even the material. The material aside, everyone is capable of doing an adult joke or changing it to making it suitable, right? Like that's not my worry. And something can still be funny if it's not for adults, right? Like I made a whole career entertaining kids,
right?
So it's not about that. It's about the like messing with my system or making it harder on the indoor performers.
Yeah.
Because the outdoor performers, I don't care. Here's 20 toddlers on strings and all wearing the same color t-shirt. Jack, swallow a sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did we mention that Jack brought us booze and chocolates?
Yes. Apparently, busker. He and Andre were the only two.
I mean,
that gave gifts to the people that
busker's kind of a
organized it.
dirty word. You know what I mean? Like,
is it? Is busker? Is it? I mean, buskers have such a hard time with councils and governments and.
Well, it's just. I think people don't realize that you can do it for a living, not just out front of a liquor store.
And as I'm holding a liquor called busker.
Yeah.
So,
but it was nice.
Jack,
it was just nice of Jack. I didn't know.
This isn't sponsored by Busker the whiskey, by the way.
It could
this
be.
is Irish. It could. Is it?
I mean, it could be. No, I don't drink. So.
Right. Yeah. No.
Which is also.
But it could be. So Busker Busker, get in touch.
And in reality, I mean, he played it smart. He brought me chocolates and whiskey for Billy, knowing I have no say in him coming back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
See,
No, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Who?
And Jack.
Oh.
And you for organising it. All right,
Sure,
we'll get there.
yeah,
Genius.
yeah. No, and the crazy thing is, Steve, is that to me now it feels so simple. You spend all your money on people, they have a good time, and then everyone has a good time.
Yeah.
There's zero chance I'm going to be able to convince other producers that this is the way to go because it's an insane plan. It's a bananas plan. However,
I think you've got the footage now. You've got the proof of concept.
of course,
you know.
but again,
Yeah.
when you look at your budget and you're like, wait, what? Like, I'm going to spend X on just performers, and then how
Imagine.
do you do everything else on what's left?
Yeah.
But that's the
But
thing.
you did.
Yeah, of course, because you didn't need that much. That was the beauty of it. I hung all my bells on the performers are going to sell this as a great time.
Yeah.
The space, the everything, all of the tech, the lights, the sound, all that, no frills, right?
yeah.
Posters taped to a folding
no,
table.
but you say no frills, but still, every venue had a sound, had lighting.
Sound.
You put in lighting and sound.
Yeah, and
like
chairs.
on every and chairs, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of
Pipe and drape.
organization. Pipe and drape off to the side. So I mean,
Again, but we're not mounting racks and racks of lights or doing a backline for PA
no,
or
but it's
any.
still there is a level of production in each of the rooms.
No, there's the
that
minimum.
Was impressive.
There's enough
Yeah.
to put a spotlight or to make the performer have everything they need
Yep.
to shine.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what we did. And we did that because Colin and I, my silly person partner, who did most of the setup and tear down and all that shit,
Yeah.
we looked at it as, what do we need to do a show?
Right.
That's it. So we looked at it straight up from a performer's point of view. And it doesn't matter if I'm doing a yo-yo bit or you're doing a magic trick. I need the same things.
Yeah, you want to be seen, you want to be heard.
And I want people to be comfortable. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's the easy part. The problem is that most producers are not performers and they only look at it from one angle and one way. Like, this is not, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but it's, in reality, it's something I've never even done before. I didn't think it was possible, right? Like, I spent way more money on other bigger festivals with a way smaller performer budget, but my advertising budget and my marketing budget and all the other stuff, right, that goes along with it,
Right.
just leaves it so you don't have money for performers. So
Yep.
now you're limited on who can you afford and are they the ones you want?
Sure.
And this is you know what? Most of our money goes to
What a
getting
concept!
the best.
What a concept! I mean, how many times have we got hired for gigs where you get called for gigs where they're like, we spent all our budget on the food, the venue, and and we've got nothing left for entertainment.
said
And
to
that's
you-
the one thing everyone's going to
I
remember.
said to you earlier, I got this new outlook on performance and life.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, I'm also old and lazy and don't want to, perform as much as I still am. However, I'm going to ask them, is your budget at least 50% artists? Because I think that's generous, right?
Sure.
And if not, I don't want to be a part of it.
Because that tells you everything you need to know
Well, yeah,
about how you're going to
because
be treated, right?
If it's 8% of your budget, well, I know I got to bring my own bottled water, and I know I'm going to have to bring my own sound system, and I know I'm going to have to change in the car. You know what I mean? I don't want to do any of that shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that. But if you're spending 50% of your budget on performers and entertainment, I know there's going to be a green room. I know that there's going to be many performers, not just Colin and I in front of a fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
At a fair or at a rodeo, in the middle of a field, doing shows to people who are waiting to see who has the biggest pumpkin. I don't want to do those gigs anymore. I just don't.
Oh, that sounds like heaven.
I mean, those gigs, though, built our career. It made us so that we can perform almost anywhere in any situation, which is great. Which is why when I went scouting for venues, I was like, I know what I need, right? I don't care how weird it is or how out of the box it is.
Talking of boxes, so now, first, congratulations
Good
on
segue. Okay, yep.
But congratulations
Thank
on
you.
pulling this off, because I got to say,
Billy gets as much kudos.
I was
for
going to
sure.
say, the two of you created. You pulled it off, and it was, from my perspective, watching it all come together was super impressive. So now you have
Thank
a
you.
festival in a box.
Yes.
Now you have I love that term.
I love it
the
too.
festival in a box.
Yeah, me too.
Because the whole thing is structured, it works.
Yep.
You've got proof of concept. You've got video, so people really understand what a walking tour is.
I can do it anywhere.
It's not I'm walking down the street and I'm pointing shit out. The walking is part of it. It's great.
Yeah.
And so now it's just a case of what are you going to do? What's next? What's next for Shenanigans?
Well, for sure, what's next that I can commit to now is we're going to run it again in Waterloo 2026 in May, last weekend in May. I'm going to post a bunch of photos and videos on the website over the next little while so people can kind of see it and maybe get their brain around it.
MagicandShenanigans.com.
Magicandshenanigans.com, nice plug. And then ultimately, I'm going to float it around. I got a sponsorship package like in the works, and there's tons of like small towns and smaller markets that I think, and I've been to before and had a ton of fun in.
You were saying, and this is a very interesting thing, that I think a lot of people think of festivals as being like major markets, like Toronto, London, Paris, whatever. But what you were saying was there's also these secondary markets where it would actually...
Third-dairy markets and
Yeah, right.
I don't think that's a word, but...
Third-dairy is now. You did trademark with
Nailed it.
Shenanigans. I'm sure people don't want to be called a third-dairy market.
No, but I mean, they realize it. I
but
mean,
these smaller towns with the single high streets where this really works.
Of course, because you're bringing literally world-class entertainment to a town
people that would normally charge
nobody's
thousands.
ever heard from, right? Like nobody's ever heard of.
You're bringing entertainers that charge thousands of dollars for private shows. And, and they're working,
But again, Steve, the idea behind a festival is you come and work it not for the money, but for the fun and the experience and the, like you said, what a great life experience from a performer standpoint.
Great, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you don't
and
feel
then
alone.
You go do all those other corporate gigs that you want to do for the money.
I'm just saying it's good for the audience to
for
understand that they're seeing that quality.
But I think they realize that. I think they realize that
Yeah.
that your talent speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And again, I've only ever run festivals really in smaller markets, like secondary markets, close to Toronto.
Sure.
And I've never been able to bring people from the major city to a small town. Most of the emails I got was, hey, I'm coming from Toronto. Where do I park? How much is parking?
Right.
Where do I eat? Blah, blah, blah.
Amazing.
And I'm like, have you never been to Waterloo? Like, it's down the road.
It's an hour and a half away. What the
People
hell, man?
live there.
Yeah.
And here's high five. Parking's free, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's not Toronto.
That's the other good thing about small towns.
No,
is
because
it's
people from
way
Toronto
more...
thought they were going to spend another like $200 on parking for the day, which again, in Toronto, you would.
Yes.
Right? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well,
So,
So this is great. So
hopefully,
everybody look out for Magic and Shenanigans in a town near you.
yeah,
Coming to a town near you.
2026 is going to be
2026,
Shenanigans, Magic, and
Everywhere.
Hopefully.
When we were in the car, just finally, when we were in the car
you want me to
driving
tell
up,
this story?
you told a story of your first gig.
Yeah.
And I was so mad because I'm like, why didn't you tell me this when we...
I will tell you the story.
All
if
right,
you want.
so one of the things we love to do on what is this podcast called? Magicians Only, is
I do not belong here.
was it Magicians Only? Question mark. I think the way you pulled this off was magic.
Well, thank you.
You're an honorary.
You know what?
It's not an
it was more of an illusion than
No,
magic.
right, okay, yeah, it's the
Yeah,
illusion.
there
yeah.
you go,
There
yeah.
you go. All right, honorary illusions.
I convinced a bunch of people this was a good idea.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was the
the sheer bloody mindedness of it all is just amazing.
also that.
All right, so you told this story. So you were on a gig. Where was it?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the whole thing. So early 90s, I'm just starting performing, and I got into like making balloons. Like I learned how to juggle and stuff, but I got really into making balloons. And eventually, my partner Colin and I wrote an entire show called The Lords of Latex, which we toured for years because it was all we used was balloons in the show. Right? It was like a comedy show, no props. It was a bit spoofy. So, anyway, early in my career, like 1 or 2 years doing this, I meet this dude from Boston who's a balloon maker. And he was like, hey, maybe he recognized my skills or whatever. He's like, I'm going to go to Spain because I work the Ramblas and then I go to Cadiz for basically Mardi Gras, right? Huge festival. I got a place. We come, we make balloons on the street. We work for tips. Awesome. And I was like, okay, I've never been to Europe. So he basically helped me figure it out. I went with him and we like just were doing balloons and like little shows on the street.
Right.
But he spoke Spanish. He's got permits for us. We paid for our permits.
How old are you at this time?
I was 18.
18.
That's terrible. I was 18 years
Holy
old.
shit. Here
Maybe
it comes.
19? 18 or 19. I was in my teens. And then it's like the third or fourth day of the festival, and I like make a balloon or do something for this woman, and she goes to find money to pay me, and she can't find her wallet.
Right.
So immediately she assumes I grifted her wallet somehow. Right? And I'm like, I didn't move. I've been here the whole time. There's 400 people around, and the guy I'm working with is also here.
Yeah.
Anyway, cut to, cops show up, right? Cops totally show up, start asking me questions. I don't speak Spanish, right? Like, I just keep saying, I don't speak Spanish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my friend comes over, and he starts trying to negotiate and whatever else, and he's like, they're saying you stole her purse, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. So they basically say, empty out your pockets, and they search me. So I was wearing one of those like money belts, like under my shirt.
Yeah.
Because we have been working for 2 weeks and we're only making cash on the street. So I keep like converting it to American, and so I have, some money with me.
Right.
So immediately cops are like, this tracks. He's stealing money from people, because how could he have that much money making balloons for kids? Kind of bullshit. So then they were like, okay, you're coming with us. They might have said that. I don't know. Handcuffs, back of the cruiser. Not kidding. Yeah. Handcuffs, back of the cruiser. I'm like, what the fuck? So the guy, my friend is like, I'm going to meet you at the station. I'm like, cool. So they take me in, they put a clipboard in front of me and give me a pen. And it's like this entire, in Spanish, written down. And I'm like, no thanks. Like, I'm not signing this. Like, I've seen enough movies. There's no way I'm signing this. And I just kept saying, no, I don't speak Spanish. Is there a translator? I don't speak Spanish.
Right.
And I can hear my friend yelling at the, like, front of the police station, right?
Yeah.
They were just ignoring him entirely. So cut to, okay, fucking next room. I'm sitting in this chair, and then I go into a room. Now, fingerprints. Full on fingerprints. And then like a bus bin with like your shoelaces and your belt, and you're going to love this part, fucking costume. Because I was dressed as a full clown, white face, yellow wig, like colorful jumpsuit, not the whole thing.
A clown in a jail cell.
Clown, yeah. So wig goes in the bin. They made me wipe all the makeup off, which just got smeared everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So that they could take my mugshot. Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. So there's somewhere there is a smeared clown makeup.
Yeah, mugshot for sure. All my fingerprints. They took my passport and all my money and everything, and just basically put me in a cell. And I was in there by myself for a long time. So you have to understand, small town Spain.
Yeah.
Biggest party on the planet.
Yeah.
Most of the guards and the police are hammered, right? They are not looking for They were mad with me that they had to do this kind of work.
Yeah,
right?
And that you wouldn't just sign the confession.
Well, and I found out afterwards that if I would have signed that thing, they would have just let me go. That was it. Because it just basically said, someone's going to contact you with a court date, and you got to show up. The end. And I was...
And your pal that spoke Spanish...
They wouldn't let him come see me. So and there was nobody in this police station that could translate this document for me. Anyway, cut to, I'm in the cell... Like, this is crazy. I am freaking out. Like, it's my first time. Yeah. And then they throw another dude in there who got, like, fully deloused, right? And I'm like, well, at least they didn't
like
get
all
that.
The powder?
All the powder, yeah. Like, shaking it off. Gross.
That's the cinematic scene as he comes in, he's backlit, and it's just powder.
Click,
like,
click, click, fucking in you go. And then he, trying to take a shit on the floor in the corner. Yeah. Anyway.
Why? Because he was constipated? Or?
I'm guessing he was probably constipated. Maybe.
Was he high or drunk or drugged, or what was
he was? Thing? I don't know. He didn't mind that he had fucking powder all over him. So
and a clown in the corner.
He was a bit. Probably.
Did he look at you as if like, are you part of his?
No, I was just kind of hanging there, trying to like. I was terrified.
Clown?
I was terrified. I didn't speak Spanish. He was pretty cool. But yeah, and then cut to morning after. The next morning, I get put in front of a judge.
Yeah.
And there's a dude sitting beside me who is literally sleeping. I'm not even kidding. Sitting beside me, fucking snoring in the chair. And I said to the judge, who's this? And he's like, oh, that's your court-appointed lawyer. I'm like, come on. And the judge was great. I'm not great. He was like, listen, I understand this is a miscommunication and blankety blank. And he explained it all to me. And he answered all my questions. And I had to pay $400 because... If I went to the trial, which I had no plans on going to, and they did find me guilty, it's a misdemeanor, like pickpocket fine, costs $400.
Right.
So he's like, you're going to pay the fine, and then I don't even care if you come. and then gave me my passport back and then let me go. And then my friend went to the trial. The woman never showed up.
So there was a trial. Eventually,
they scheduled it. Right? She filed a report. She probably was at the festival from some other small town, found her purse in her car,
and was like,
or whatever. Exactly. Didn't tell anyone. So my friend went on my behalf. I got some of the money back because of court fees and stuff I have to pay for, of course.
Yeah.
But that was it, man. And I was paranoid. I was like, I went to the embassy in Madrid because I was like, I don't know what they did to my passport. I don't know if I can get home. Like, all of these crazy, like, things were happening, right? Like, 91, 92, like, there was no cell phones.
Welcome to show business, right?
It was insane. I mean, I read a street performer book once, and I don't know who wrote it, but it said the first page was, be prepared to spend 1 year of your life in jail if you would like to be a street performer for a living.
Wow.
And now, I mean, it's...
You understand what he's saying now? Because you could be arrested for misdemeanors or vagrancy.
Or whatever, or you're
loitering.
You try to set up... Like, I mean, now people know where they can and can't work, and now it's... But, I mean, before, there was, like, organized festivals and that kind of thing. It was just you showed up and you worked.
Sure, yeah.
And, I mean, the Ramblas is a perfect example. You're not allowed to perform there, but they turned a blind eye. But if your crowd gets too big, now you're attracting pickpockets and gypsies. They don't want that.
Right.
So it's kind of this weird, like, can you keep it to a certain size where we're not going to notice?
Right.
Or now you're causing another problem.
Yeah.
Like that. And, I mean, the guy that I worked with who was going to the Ramblas for years told me a story about, like, I mean, they just come and confiscate your shit. They just take everything they can see and think, and then that's it. Right? And
you
then
never get it back.
Well, you can go and try to get it back, but then you got to pay the fine for working where you're not supposed to. You have to, that kind
So
of
if the
thing.
cops want a little extra cash, they'll just take the stuff and you got to go pay in.
Whatever. And I mean, again, I only spent like, I don't know, 36 hours there. And I mean, Spanish prison was terrible. Like, I was like, I was just shook.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you came out of the jail cell,
yeah,
to be a fly on the wall to watch this,
dude, I think
because the only clothes you had was your clown costume,
That's
right?
it. It was like a onesie.
Did you put your wig back on and exit like Pride?
No. I was bawling leaving this. I was like, my friend was outside, and my like Spanish friend who was there, and I like came down the stairs, and I was just like. Just this crazy, like, overwhelming rush of, like, emotions. Like, I fucking thought I was going to die in there.
Yeah, you don't understand what the level of what could happen.
It was crazy, yeah. I still have the arrest paperwork upstairs, and I think a photo of me coming down the stairs afterwards.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Can you give me that photo? Can you send me a copy of that photo?
I'll see if I could find it, yeah. Yeah, because I just found it not too long ago, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this.
So a lot of people who would have gone through something like that would have quit the next day. How did you feel?
I mean,
it's a pretty intense experience.
Yeah, it's a crazy intense experience and whatever else, but I think it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I mean, it can happen to anyone. I mean, it happens nowadays, and even worse because there's phones and videos and footage of everything, so anyone can just accuse you of something.
Sure.
And that was it. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or interacted with a Karen in a different language. Like, it was kind of that situation. Looking back on it 35 years later.
I know your career. I know that we won't get into them now, but I know that you've had experiences where audience members have lied and said that stuff has happened, and you're like, no, it hasn't.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, all that stuff happens.
So that still happens.
People say stuff that just isn't true or whatever, and you just have to like be like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's part of interacting with the public with there's no barrier. Like, if you're on stage, whether it be a cruise ship or a theater show or the Magic Castle or whatever, you're protected by that stage, right? Like,
not anymore. Now, I got to tell you, and I was sent this text that Carnival sent to all of their entertainers.
Right.
And it basically said, all right, more and more people are coming on stage uninvited.
Right.
And so here's how you handle it.
Right.
Here's how we would like you to handle it. Don't escalate it with heckle lines. Take a step back. If it continues to get aggressive, you have absolute permission to end the show.
That's crazy. How do they have access? Like, in my opinion... And also,
you just walk up onto this platform, out of the audience and onto the platform.
But I would see them coming, and I would stop them before they got anywhere close to there.
No. There was a guy on the ship. I was in the audience, and he one of the things he likes to do is he'll do some crowd work, and and he was doing a line about, was it South Carolina? I think he was doing like a line that was like making fun of South Carolina. And this big guy stood up and he goes, say one more word about South Carolina, I'm going to beat your fucking ass. Right? And now the rest of the audience is like, holy shit. So my buddy, the comedian, he stops. He doesn't say anything. He goes, don't fucking make, And so the guy won't shut up. And now the audience starts yelling at the passenger to shut up and sit down. And then he's like, I'll kick all your asses. So they asked him to leave. And kudos to the to Virgin Cruises, they sat down my friend and they were like, "Do you want to press charges because he threatened physical violence against you? How do you feel?"
I mean, that's ridiculous, but
So, but at least they did like a report on it, and they
to me, that's the performer's problem to a certain extent. And then you need someone that works for the cruise, like a security or something.
Yeah.
Even when I worked in Mexico, it was a bit of the Wild West, right?
Yeah.
Like where you're doing shows in bars, you're doing shows in theaters, you're doing shows outside sometimes.
Yeah.
And the guests are number one. They're number one, that's it. If they complain, I'm guessing same as a cruise ship, you're likely not going to have a good night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I got to the point where the second someone came into my space, I packed my shit up and I bounced. That was it.
Right.
I didn't deal with it. I didn't even try. I didn't care because I knew that any interaction was gonna make it worse.
It's going to escalate it.
And I don't care what they say. If they do complain, why didn't you do your show? I'm like, don't pay me for the show. I don't care.
Right.
I would rather not be in this situation. And I think I stopped a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
I was notorious for anyone would even come close to getting on my stage, I would just go sit in their seat with my microphone, and that's it. I just let him do his thing. I didn't give a shit. I'm like, bro, I got to kill 30 more minutes. You do you, bud.
Yeah.
And I just sat there, and I didn't care what they did because it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I was not interacting with them. I was making fun of them from my seat.
Yeah.
But I'm in the
In a very
dark.
passive-aggressive manner.
I'm in the dark. I'm sitting here. I'm like, you let me know when you're ready, and then that's it. They get
amazing.
But again, they had staff who would get them off the stage. And
Yeah.
But again,
quite often though, those security staff, you got to take a minute for them to get to the room.
I would always tell people though, like if there was someone like, do you need me to do this? I was like, listen, you don't ask anyone to do anything unless I give you the nod. Like that's it. No. Because me just taking their chair and them going on stage, now they realize they're there all alone. And they don't want to be there alone. No. Right? Yeah. So now they're like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And that's how I solved my problem mostly. If there was that situation. But again, I figured out a way to deal with it. That's it.
I like that. It's a very non-aggressive way of dealing with it. I think that's a good lesson for everybody.
Well, I mean, take it or leave it. It's, you got to be able to do a 15-minute show in your 30-minute time slot if something like that happens. And I'm great at that.
Yeah.
Well, the less is more.
Well, thanks for sharing that story. I look forward to doing more.
Did we mention that Jack brought us whiskey?
No, we didn't. By the way, thank you to Jack Wise.
And one more shout out to Andre for this beautiful box of butterfly cards.
There you go.
Right there.
Pack of cards.
Pack of cards.
Not packet, pack of cards.
Pack of cards. And this is going straight to the Magic Pool Room.
This is going straight to the Magic Pool Room right there.
Yeah, there you go.
And a huge thanks to Phil and Billy for allowing me to film behind the scenes and also just be super honest about how they put this whole thing together. I do hope that you've learned a lot from this. I know I have, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one. Oh, yes, and please like, share, and subscribe. It's so important. Everybody says it, but it really does help the show move up through the rankings. Show us a little love. Doesn't cost you anything. You can just like. You don't even have to listen to it. Just like it, share it, and subscribe. You don't even have to listen. You can just, you know what I'm saying? You can you just like, share, and subscribe. Never listen again. Just knowing that you've helped me promote this show, because this is a labor of love. And on that note, love you all. See you next time. Bye.